I've been practicing the kickflip on Freeskates for the better part of 2 years now, about every single day. And in this video, I'm going to be giving you all of my secrets to the kickflip on Freeskates. I'm going to start with just the basic single kickflip with one skate, and then I'm going to move on to what I've figured out about kickflip combo tricks. For the kickflip, there's 2 steps. Tilt the skate, and you can practice this by just skating around and tilting without actually kickflipping. While the skate is tilted, practice what it feels like to kick out. You're almost pressing down and kicking out at the same time. Essentially, it's that rolling down and outward motion really swiftly around this outer wheel. Same thing with the back skate. It's gonna be kicking back around this outer wheel, down and out. And your foot can't leave the skate too much. It has to stay near the skate so that it has time to stomp it. I like to say that basically as soon as your foot leaves the skate, it's coming right back down. You can't just wait for it to flip because the skate's gonna be gone by then. I've practiced this single motion for the past couple of years, and only recently am I really getting it consistent. So be patient with this trick. So getting this trick down is gonna be a big feel thing. You're not gonna have the feel right away, but I found that in each session I learned something different about myself in how I could unlock a better flip. So really quick, I'm going to show you how I'm doing with my front foot kickflips. As you can see here, I have them pretty consistent. And moving on to my back foot, that isn't so much the case. I still have a lot of work to do. Like I said, this trick takes so much practice and you just got to be patient with it. People ask a lot if you need edge guards. I found that they help me grab the edge of the skate. Gives you a little bit of a better lip. But at the end of the day, you don't necessarily need them. After learning the kickflip, I can start to do it regardless of if I have edge guards, if I don't have edge guards, or if I have a different kind of edge guard. At this point, it really doesn't matter for me, especially for the front foot. I'd recommend them. They did help me in my learning process. Also, JMK just released a new model. I'd recommend those since they're good for flip tricks as well as throw tricks. Last thing I'll say about the single kickflip is you can practice them stationary or moving. It doesn't matter so much as it does a trick like the toe flip where motion can screw up the trick. If anything, the motion only helps a kickflip because it's in the direction of motion of the flip. Just practice it how you prefer. Practice it over and over again. Try to get the feel for the flip. Of course, I'm always available to give you some extra pointers as well. For the single kickflip, you'll want to know a couple more things. If you press downward, the harder you press downward with more power, that's gonna translate to upward motion, kind of like an ollie or something. It's just physics. When you press down harder, that's gonna send it upward more. Also, what pressing down is gonna do is push it this way. So you wanna counteract that with the correct amount of flick this way so it flips in place and lands in the exact same spot. So moving on to combos. Earlier, I was talking about the kickflip and how if you press down with more power, a negative effect that can have is the skate can shoot. Now you might think for the kickflip switch it where you kickflip it and it sends to the other side, you want that, but you want it to be controlled. And I find that when I screw up the flip on a kickflip switch it usually goes way too far. So recently, one of the lessons I kind of taught myself was to be a lot lighter on my feet, not press down the skate so hard as I'm trying to send it over, but more focus on keeping my foot light and focus on the flick, because the flick is going to keep it from shooting and keep it more controlled. And lately, since I've been thinking about it that way in my head, I've been able to land these more often. Your mileage may vary. This is just my thoughts to my mouth. This is how I've been thinking about it. Same thing goes for the dual kickflip switch it or the dual impossible. So if you remember on my Instagram when I was constantly landing those, around then is when I figured out it's more just a light kicking out motion as opposed to really focusing on drilling it into the ground, because that's just gonna send it that way. Another thing that caused this realization is when I was practicing just the dual kickflip where they flip in place. It's extremely hard to kick with such force that they actually stay. Typically they'll at least go in a little bit. When I was doing that and the skates kept going in and hitting each other, I thought, why not just shift my feet so that I allow them to pass when I screw up and see where they land? And that's when I realized you still need to kick out. It's still a kickflip where you tilt and kick outward, even if you're sending it the other way. That took me a long time to realize, especially when I was practicing the backflip kickflip switch it. it was just a pressure flip for me. Whenever I got it on camera, it was just by doing that and sending it over and catching it quick. But for it to be controlled, it needs to be an outward flick. With practice, that should give you the better technique. This is a long journey to go on. Freeskates in general is, but also kickflip tricks especially. You can't expect to get these right away. Maybe you'll get lucky and with this advice, excel far easier and more quickly than I did. Other than everything I've already said, my last secret to the kickflip is just consistent practice. If you take breaks like I've done for some of these tricks, you're gonna lose it, or at least I know I did. For the dual kickflip switch it, where they go like this, I haven't landed one of those in probably a few weeks, maybe even a month. In contrast, there was a session where I landed 11 of them in a half an hour period. Stay consistent, don't give up, keep practicing. And of course, I am always here in the comments and everywhere on social media to help you out with any questions you may have. Hope you enjoyed this video, maybe got something out of the information I gave. If you did, make sure to hit that like, it really does help. If you want to learn more about the basic kickflip, I've made a tutorial over on JMK's channel, and if you're feeling ambitious, there's also a kickflip switch it tutorial made by none other than June. So go ahead and watch that as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.